Welcome to Catalyst for Healing. My name is Maria Lloyd. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I am here with a good friend, Christina Wang, who is a certified yoga instructor and a women's wellness advocate. She started She Flourishes. She can explain a little bit more about here in Orange County. And I'm actually very, very excited to have you here because I think yoga is so critical for nervous system regulation, and it improves mental health. And the people who are most dysregulated, which are those of us with anxiety and depression, need it the most, but resist it the most. It's kind of like a meditation practice where it's the best thing for you, but slowing down is difficult. And so we'll talk a little bit more about what you recommend for those people that might be interested but a little resistant. But anyway, welcome and tell us a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much for having me. First, I want to say I was so excited when Maria asked me to be on this podcast because it combines my love of all things right now. I'm very passionate about yoga, obviously, but also about wellness in general and specifically women's wellness. And I've been battling my own issues with anxiety and depression. And I've been finding tools that really have been working for me. And my idea is that I need to be able to share all of these tools with other people. So Thank you for having me on. Mm-hmm. And yes, so I can tell you a little bit about myself. Yeah. I'm a certified yoga instructor, and I've had a personal practice of about 12 years. And it's really interesting because I first found yoga as more of a physical practice. I went there for strength, for flexibility, and it's really given me so much more than that. At different points in my life, it has given me what I needed. So when I became a mother, I have 3 young boys. It really cracked me wide open and in many ways expanded me, but also was a really challenging time for me as a human, going through a lot of big transitions and emotions and feelings and physical changes. And yoga really helped to really just transform my life in a more easeful and joyful way. And so I'm passionate about sharing that information. Yeah. She Flourishes is my women's collective that I founded. It's very new, but it's based out of Orange County, and it's really focused on empowering women to be their best selves. So whether that's prioritizing self-care, about focusing their whole wellness, not just their physical wellness, but their mental, their emotional wellness. Yeah. We are doing lots of fun things, pop-up events, monthly gatherings, and it's been a lot of fun building community that way.
I just went to your last one and we did this, like, how would you describe the cute little things that we made?
It was like crafting. Yeah. So it was a way for us to get out of our heads and be creative and authentically express ourselves through a little arts project. Yeah. And so we all came home. I wish we had our bowl. We should have brought your bowl.
Oh,
we all made
I know.
bowls.
I have it. I can go grab it. But yeah.
You can snap a picture at the end and show
Okay. It was fun. And then you also do retreats, which I'm hoping to come to at some point in Joshua Tree, yes, which have been, I've heard, amazing.
Yeah, such a sacred place. I went on my first retreat 4 years ago, and it completely changed the trajectory of my life. Mm-hmm. And my hope is that every human being can experience a retreat at some point in their lives. And I know it's not easy to get away for people, yeah, which is why, I also teach yoga in the park, community yoga in a studio setting as well. And, these little pieces of time that you can incorporate into your own day is really going to help you just be a better person, feel like a better person, truly. Yeah. So whether it's a retreat, one yoga class, or a session, you take what you need.
Yeah. What was transformative for you about your retreat?
It really changed the lens in how I view myself and the world. Okay. Yoga has helped me become more compassionate to myself, mm-hmm, first. And then through that, be more compassionate to everyone else outside of me, mm-hmm, my family, my friends, yeah, the whole world that I interact with. And truly, it's like I see the world in a different way. and I see people in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I thank yoga every single day for it because I'm a much better human being, a kinder, more empathetic, more compassionate person because of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I know one of the things we talked about, because you're one of my favorite yoga instructors, and I love that you do the yoga in the park, like outside, because to me, it's like combining the benefits of nature when we're like on the ground in the fresh air and then doing the yoga together. It's just been a really powerful experience.
It really is. I mean, it's nature therapy.
Right.
It's community.
Yes.
It's yoga, like somatic movement. It combines so much and it's really potent.
Yeah.
It's really potent.
Yeah. So I know for me, I started yoga about 5 years ago, and I'm just trying to connect with people that have never tried it before. And I remember how difficult it was because, one, I was so inflexible. And so like everyone in the class is doing these amazing poses and I can like barely touch, be below my knees. And so I'm kind of in the back going, I know you can be at your own pace. But like, I had to commit to realizing like, just keep my focus on my mat and my progress. But it was very slow. It took me about a year to increase the flexibility and the breath. But it's like, it was also difficult to slow down because my body was constantly like in this fight or flight, but it was the best thing for me. So it's like afterwards I would feel like amazing, but then the resistance every time I go would be like, I don't want to slow down. And so I guess I want to encourage people to try it, but also like stay consistent in a practice because it took a long period of time for me to start to notice the benefits, if that makes sense.
So many good points right there, Maria. So many good points. Okay, first and foremost, yoga is not a magic pill. Like anything else, it takes consistency and dedication, but it absolutely has incredible impact.
I know. Well, my connection to my body, first of all, like I was so disconnected from my physical body and the way that, and I mean, you do a beautiful job of having you tune into different parts of your body. So again, when you're looking for a yoga studio or practice, find someone who includes the mindfulness piece because it's so important.
Okay. Can I say something about that? Yeah. Okay. So when people think of yoga, typically they think about these like pretzel-like shapes that are like not humanly possible, or they think it looks like a choreographed dance. Certainly in Orange County here, we have a style of yoga that the majority practices. And I will say there are so many different formats of yoga. And if you're doing yoga to support you in, for your anxiety and depression, the formats that I would recommend are certainly more in the mindful format. But the key words that you're looking for are either restorative yoga, gentle yoga, yin yoga, breathe and stretch. These are some of like the class keywords that you'll find. Do not go to like a power yoga to relax. That is not going to help you relax. That will bring you up. So finding the right class format as well as the right instructor, I think is really important.
It's huge. I mean, I had to visit several studios because the energy just, for me, it's like the person made all the difference.
Yes, absolutely.
And it just wasn't the right fit. And if they didn't have that, again, like the mindfulness piece, that was so important to me.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is it's the mindfulness and the breath work.
The breath work.
So people think yoga is poses, but actually that's only one of the 8 limbs of a yogic path.
Okay.
There are 7 other limbs, and in the other 7 limbs, the other really what I focus on in my teachings is the breath work, the pranayama. It's breath control.
Yeah.
And there's so many different techniques that you can utilize, and many of them really wonderful to de-stress yourself, to get your into your parasympathetic nervous system, into the rest and digest.
Yes.
Not fight or flight. We want to soothe our nervous system.
Yes.
So the breath work in our yoga practices really are ones that are beneficial on the mat. And also I use them like when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm driving, I get stressed out, there's traffic, something's happening. I go to a breath work and I'm literally doing it in the car and it helps me.
And
So
it's so powerful. And the cool thing is I have my mat out at home and I do some days Zoom and some days like in person with my clients, and like literally can just go and do one or two poses with the breath work, and it'll, regulate my nerves. It'll calm me down to that state of like total groundedness.
exactly.
And there's so much power in it.
You don't even have to move in yoga. You just have
It's
to
true.
breathe. If you can breathe, you're doing yoga.
Yeah.
If you're mindfully breathing, you're doing yoga. So
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. And she's going to demonstrate for us some poses and breath work at the end that are going to help you be able to just get that experience of practicing it. And so what would you say the benefits are if someone's like highly anxious or highly depressed? How is it going to help them with those symptoms?
I think with depression, you're thinking about the past. What went wrong? How come I'm not where I want to be? You're thinking about the past and you're fretting over that. And then you think about anxiety, you're thinking about the future.
That's so true.
Worrying about everything that is about to happen that actually hasn't happened. It's not real. It's just your mind making stories up.
Right.
And I think yoga can help us to get out of that, get out of our heads a little bit. Because when we become present in the current moment and we're focusing on our breath or the movements that we're making, we almost can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
So it does give your brain kind of a rest that needs. Like, please go to sleep for a little bit. Let me have a moment of peace.
Yeah.
And if you consistently practice, like you said, dedicated practice, you can almost, it becomes like it's like a magic thing, because right when you get on the mat, your kind of brain and your body knows. It's like, okay, rest. You're on your mat, rest.
Right.
It's like the signal. So if you can get yourself to a consistent place, then you can quickly get yourself out of that, like, worrying, anxious, fearful, like whatever it is that's happening in your body, you can get yourself a little bit.
And that's why I think it's important at the beginning to practice in community, because it's almost like when you're around other calm nervous systems, because everyone's getting into that calm state, it's kind of helping you then be able to take that home and do it on your own. Like, it's hard to start, I think, on your own.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. I think the community aspect is really important.
Yeah.
When there's a collective, a group, the energy is different.
Yeah.
And there's a good quote. I think it says, like, by yourself, you can go a little. With many, you can go far.
Oh, I love that.
So it's that same feeling that, as a collective, we can heal and transform further than we could just trying to do it alone.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that, you're saying, like, other people are relaxed and then you get relaxed. I think also being in a community setting allows you to realize that you're not the only one that's messed up. Like, everyone's crying on their mats. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone has stuff that's coming up.
That's true.
And it's okay. Like, you're not the weirdo. You're not the weirdo. You're totally normal.
Yeah.
Everyone's messed up. It's just about how we can find equanimity in our messed upness and be able to navigate through the challenges of daily life in a way that feels easeful.
I love that. Easeful. I haven't heard that word before.
Sometimes things are shitty, like, things happen, people have challenges. It's part of life. But how we navigate and how we respond to what's happening to us or for us is the key.
Yeah. I agree. And going back to your point, I actually like how you articulated that. So the depression is like about the past, and then the anxiety is about the future. I mean, the goal of being in a healthy space mentally is to learn to live in the present. And there's nothing better than yoga to get you into that space, because it's all about the present moment, right?
Yeah. And you know that you can access that breath to bring you back to the present moment time and time again.
Yeah.
It's always my reminder. If I'm worrying about something that's happened or worrying about the future, I come back to my breath and immediately I'm like, okay, I am here.
Yeah.
And if I'm anxious, I say to myself, I am breathing in I'm breathing out. And I do that as many times as I need to come back to this moment.
That's such a great way to get back to the moment, is just the mindful breathing. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like just what you did, I think, is enough to remind you. It's like, okay, in this present moment, all is okay.
All is okay. Like I am safe. My body is safe.
Right.
I am here. That's all.
Yeah.
And what's amazing about breathwork is it's free, y'all. And
so true.
It's readily accessible. You don't need any equipment. You don't need a professional to guide you through it, which you can have guided breathwork, but you don't need it.
Right.
It's completely free and at your fingertips. Yeah. And it's such a powerful tool.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you think would be important to cover before you do your demonstration?
Let's see. I took some notes here because I wanted to make sure I could share all the valuable information.
Yes.
And so, okay, benefits of yoga, we kind of went through them, but yoga as a form of exercise really does increase your serotonin levels, so it naturally increases that. So there's that. And then the breath work can really support you emotionally, mentally.
Yeah.
It's absolutely helped me relieve tension in my body. Whenever I feel like, okay, my shoulders are tight or my back is jacked up, something's happening, again, come back to my breath.
Yeah.
That helps me send the energy where I need it to go. And yeah, there were some stats here, but I won't say it. And there's tons of studies out there showing that.
Let's throw in a few stats.
Yeah, let's see. A study published in Frontiers in Psychology reviewed 27 studies involving youth and found that 70% showed significant improvement. Significant improvement. Specifically, 58% of the studies accessing both anxiety and depression reported reductions in both symptoms.
So we need to get yoga in our schools. I mean, that would be, I know one of my friends just started teaching yoga at the high school.
For teenagers,
it's amazing,
for young children, for adults. Yoga is for everyone.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. But let's start with us, right?
Yeah.
Put the oxygen mask on ourselves.
Yes.
And then we can help others.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I'll tell you a story from my last retreat. I had a lady come and she gets anxiety on airplanes. I don't know if anyone else does as well. I think it's very common, right? And she texted me when she landed, and I wanted to kind of read the text because I think it's a testament to how breathing and yoga can help. So she goes, I hope your day is going well. I wanted to share a little story with you. When I was heading home, I experienced some turbulence and I immediately started having a bit of an anxiety attack, which has happened before. It usually feels like my body is on pins and needles and I have trouble breathing. But during that moment, I really focused on my breath and leaned into the discomfort versus the pain, thanks to yin yoga. That was one of the practices we did at my retreat.
Yeah.
The attack subsided after 5 minutes, when it usually takes me 20 minutes. I couldn't believe it. All that to say, I'm now looking to practice yoga and meditation more now, thanks to you and the retreat.
Oh, that is really
cool. So that was just a really, like one example of how it can just impact you tremendously. Like in like a small little thing, like being aware of your breath. Yeah. Can really calm you down in those moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you to demonstrate for us what, just you're going to demonstrate a short practice. Do you want to say anything before?
Let's see. We didn't do the breathing exercise. Well, we did like a short little breathing that, I'll walk you through. There was a little bug and I was wondering if it wanted to land on my shoulders.
Just saw that.
Like hear about our talk. It's interested. But no, I mean, it's really...
Like before we go outside, because you're going to demonstrate out in the backyard and share the poses. Is there anything you want to share about?
What I will say is yoga is for everyone. I'll try to give some really basic postures, but don't look at my body and be like, why isn't my body doing that? Everybody is different and the shapes that everyone makes are all unique and wonderful. And so that's the one big thing I would like to share before we do it, because don't focus on what the shapes look like on me. Focus on how it feels for you.
I like that. Good. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your passion with us. And
Thanks
you're just,
for having
yeah,
me.
you're such a light. I know. So, anyway, we will look forward to switching over to the demonstration, and then we will see you guys next week on
Sounds good.
Catalyst for Healing. Bye.
Bye.